All right, here we go. It's January 28th here in the Amazon jungle. Last night we did a Soul of the Vine ceremony with the mother spirit of it. And I went into it with the intention, I was asking her to show me what's next on my path. And it was pretty interesting stuff. She's very adamant that I pick up scuba diving and skydiving. And like more will be revealed, but she's like, first you just need to worry about getting like back into scuba. I used to do scuba diving a long time ago, and she's like, you need to get into civilian skydiving. And so anyway, I'm gonna pursue that, and she wants me to travel more. Like I'm not traveling enough, as ironic as that sounds. I need to do more travel. What else? That was like the immediate, like things I can work on, say in the next like 12 months kind of thing. And then like long term, she was saying that I need to be like a better, how do I put this in words? This is confusing. So she was talking about like to be Christ-like, like Jesus, right? And I'm not a fundamentalist Christian or anything of that nature. But she was talking about, you know, being more like Jesus and what would Jesus do and things like that. And I was like, so are you saying that like Christianity is the one true religion and all that kind of stuff? And she's basically like, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. But she's like, if you want to model yourself after Jesus and like aim for what would Jesus do, you may not hit it every time, but that's to be Christ-like. And then she's like, you can define that as whatever you want. You know, are you a Christian? Are you a follower? Whatever, right? And I was like, oh, okay, you know, I mean, that makes sense. And she said also to imagine I have both a son and a daughter, and which I don't. To my knowledge, I don't have any children. But she said, you know, go about your daily living as if you were raising, say, a son and a daughter, and are you a role model for those children? Or are you like, would you be proud for your kids or something? I don't know how to explain it, but like basically pretend I have kids, and would they be like, oh, my dad's a good person or something like that, or whatever. So I guess I'll have to work on that. She talked about bunch of other stuff too, but I don't know if I want to unpack it here on YouTube because it's pretty like crazy for lack of a better words. Again, I keep referencing the Matrix, but in order for you to understand the Matrix, you have to see it for yourself. And for those of you who don't know about the spirit of the vine, it will sound crazy, but okay. So she was talking about this soldier I had back in like 10 years ago. This guy I knew named Harley. His name was Harley. He was named after a motorcycle. His grandfather died in a motorcycle accident when he was 25 years old. And then, but he, like, before he died, he had his son. And then that guy died when he was 25 years old in a motorcycle accident. But before he had died, he named his son Harley, who this was my friend, because he loved motorcycles. And this guy Harley told me, like, in like 2013, he was like, hey, you know, like, he's like 24 at the time. He's like, hey, you know, like next year I can't get on a motorcycle. And I was like, why not? He's like, oh, my grandpa died when he was 25 on a motorcycle, and my dad died when he was 25 on a motorcycle, and I'm named after a motorcycle, and I'm turning 25 next year, and he rides motorcycles. I was like, oh, well, I mean, it's just coincidence, right? Well, anyway, like a fucking year later, I was in Korea, and I get a notification that he died in a motorcycle accident. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was not a superstitious or you know, any kind of like stuff like that. I was like, did he like kill himself on purpose just to like fulfill some? No, it was a total accident. Like, he was driving home at night, like on a highway in Italy, and like some truck didn't have its lights on, or something, like a semi or whatever, and he like rear-ended a semi on his motorcycle at nighttime or something, and the truck driver was at fault. I was like, that's fucking crazy. And anyway, she's like bringing that up, and just like strange omens, and my uncle was born the same day that John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and his son was born the same day as September 11th. And just like these weird, like, you know, things, right? Where you could be like, oh, that's just a coincidence. But you're also like, okay, yeah, but it's also kind of like weird too, right? I don't know what to make of it. She was also talking about all these times in Iraq when I almost died. Like, there was this time when I was with my team, and this rocket, this Katusha rocket, not like a RPG, I mean like this was like it's a Katusha rocket. You can Google these, they're massive. It landed like 50 feet from my team, and it had just rained, and the only reason it didn't detonate was because it was rainy, and it landed in like really soft mud, so the pressure point on the tip didn't activate, so it didn't explode. And otherwise it would have gone off. If it had not rained, the ground would have been hard, and it would have exploded and blown me up and my guys that were with me, and that would have been that. And so she's basically like, yeah, you're alive because it was rainy that day. Like, that's the only reason you're still here, kind of thing. And it's just, I don't know, it was pretty wild. So what else? I wrote down a bunch of these notes, and I don't have my journal with me. I'm just kind of out on a walk. But what else was she talking about? World War I. There's a, I don't really want to go into it right now, but there's a thing that, like, related to me and like World War I, and the whole thing, and it's kind of confusing. I really don't know how to get. I'll maybe that for another video. What else? So I talked about those things. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's more. There's so much. I mean, this thing lasts for like 4 to 6 hours, and then I was up till probably 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that, just kind of thinking, you know, like processing everything. And I would take notes and write some stuff down, just so like later I can have a refresh and be like, oh yeah, that's right, this thing. But overall, like, this thing is extremely powerful. I would say if anybody has any question, and again, I'm not doing ayahuasca, I just want to be clear, for the DEA and the FBI and any kind of drug enforcement you know, thing, I'm not doing ayahuasca. But what I am doing is the thing in Shipibo that translates into English as soul of the divine. So if you have any question about, like, should I go to Peru and not do ayahuasca, you should really pursue that. And I think everyone should. I honestly think that literally every person on this planet would benefit to come here and do this, because you'll learn so much more about yourself, your place in the universe, and what your purpose is than you already know, right? And there is some scary shit that happens. You know, you're confronted with some really fucked up stuff at times. And, you know, but then you get over it. I don't know. She pulls it out of you, like the anxiety and everything. But anyway, I've got another week to go. I've done 4 ceremonies. It's now Saturday, and it's like the weekend here. So I guess, you know, I'm gonna do like weekend activities, like walk around in the jungle and try not to get eaten by a panther and stuff. And yeah, so I'll check back in on Monday, I guess. All right, you guys have a good one. Ciao.